Today, guys, I'm going to be showcasing the Sweet Citrus Bundle by Stampin' Up, which includes the stamp set, the dies, and the hybrid embossing folder. So it's called the hybrid embossing folder because you could use the die within the embossing folder, cut your dies, and emboss at one time. So I'm going to be demonstrating that. I'll be creating a nice clean card today. So this is the card that I'll be creating. I'm also going to show you a couple other cards that I created at the end of the video. So if you're interested in seeing that, please do stay tuned. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Claudette with Miss Puff Creative Corner. So welcome everyone. So let's jump into today's project. So first off, I am going to need, I'm going to be using 2 top layers, and those are white cardstock. And that is measuring. The larger piece is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and the smaller piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to use these 2 sizes for the top layer. You're also going to need a scrap piece of white cardstock. So let's start off by using the smaller piece of layer, and we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment on that. So before you emboss, you want to go ahead and stamp. So let's go. This is a Photo Palmer stamp set, and it's always good to use your padding underneath to get a crisper image. So we're going to start out with enjoy the sweeter things in life, and I am going to stamp that out in the black Memento black ink, and the dies comes with 7 pieces. So I already have this on my clear block, so I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it to the bottom and in the center of my cardstock. Then what I'm going to go ahead and do is run it through my embossing folder. I'm going to put it in the embossing folder, then run it through the embossing machine. So let's go ahead. So the logo with Stampin' Up here, I'm going to go ahead and face this down, and they have that line right there, so you could line up your card stock so it could be nice and even. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. We're going to go ahead and bring the embossing machine through, and let's go ahead and open this up. And we're going to go ahead and get our sandwich surfaces. So we have number 1 and number 4. So we're going to go ahead and sandwich that here. And this have the instruction on how to sandwich it. And this is a 3D embossing folder. So we're just using plain embossing. So we're going to use it as a normal folder. And then later on, we're going to use the hybrid embossing folder. So let's run that through our machine. And there we have it. It's embossed. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and set that aside. Next, what we're going to do is bring in our scrap piece of paper. And for this part, I'm going to be using the Stamparatus, which instead of using your clear block, this is a stamping tool. And these are the pieces right here. These pieces are all connected, the stamps. Being that is a more complex piece, I'm just going to use the Stamparatus. So if I don't get the impression the first time, I could stamp it down and get it the second time, and that's the beauty of using the Stamparatus. So first off, you're just going to place your paper. It comes with 2 magnets. You want to keep your magnets separated, and I am going to go ahead and place it down. You place your stamp where you would like it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and close the plate and pick that stamp up, and let me place my second magnet there. and we're going to stamp the outline image first. So I'm going to be using two colors, so two different yellows, and the Daffodil Delight is a darker yellow than the So Saffron. So the So Saffron, I'm going to use it for the inside, the meat, and then the Daffodil Delight, I'm going to use it for the rind. So, and that's the darker of the two. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with the Daffodil Delight. And then I am going to go ahead and close that down. Give it a nice rub. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so if you want, you could ink up again and stamp to get a darker image. So next what we're going to do is we're going to come out, take the other piece which has the inside of the citrus fruit, and we're going to put this down and line them up. So this is what I say, it's kind of a complex piece because they're all together. So I'm going to make sure it's lined up on each section nicely. All right, then when I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and close that down. Then we're going to lift the plate up. And I'm just going to lightly make sure we're in place. So what I'm going to do next is come in with the So Saffron. And we're going to go ahead and ink that up. So then we're going to go ahead and close that plate. Give it a good rub. And pick that up. And I think what I'm going to go back in with the Daffodil Delight and make the rind a little darker. Okay, I'm liking that. So that made it a little darker. So now let's go ahead and we're gonna use the hybrid embossing folder. So we're gonna use the embossing folder and the die. Okay, so we're gonna use this die right here. And the side with the Stampin' Up logo is where you're gonna put it. So with the full lemon right there, it has a high ridge, so it kind of be in place. It doesn't lock it in place, but it's right there within those grooves. Okay, so what you're gonna do is try to line these up. So what you want to do is you want to get it centered without getting the die coming out of its spot. So I want to get it centered nicely where you get some white around the edges. So bring the embossing machine in and then open that up. Then we're going to get the two surface pieces. So we're going to get number one. So once that's lined up how you would like it, you just face that up like that, put it on your embossing plate, and then we have number 4 coming on the top, and then we'll just run that through. So this is going to cut and emboss for us. And these are the pieces that we have. That's how the hybrid embossing folder is used. So we have our pieces. You have these other pieces too here. You could hand cut those out and work with those too as well. So next what we're going to do now is bring back in our, no, let's do some more stamping. So we want to get these little flowers, and I just use, I'm just going to go ahead and they give you 2 of those. So like it's 7 dies, like I said before. So they have a cluster of 3, and you get 2 of those, which is nice. So you could stamp out a lot of flowers. So you have the smaller, the larger ones, and then you have 2 flowers here. You get 2 set of double leaves here too as well. Okay, so we're gonna bring in some more scrap pieces of paper because we're gonna need to stamp our leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Evening Evergreen, which is a nice dark green. We have our leaves here already on our clear block. So we're going to go ahead and stamp out a set of 2. It's a nice dark rich green. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, and with this one, I just used 3 of the flowers, so just 1 cluster that I need. Let's see how we could fit those on. So what I'm going to do here is nice that they give you 2 of the dies, because you could cut out multiple leaves. I'm going to bring in some washi tape and just tape these down in place so they don't move on me when they're going through the die cutting emboss machine. Then let's see if this would fit. Yes, so that would fit right on there for my flowers. And I don't mind if this moves, but we'll go ahead and tape that down. So let's go ahead and run that through our embossing machine. Put our pieces on here, sandwich that through, and send it through. Okay, so we have our 3 little, see, it's a cluster, but it comes out individually on the flowers, and then these are the leaves. Then what we're going to do is just add the inner pieces to our flowers. And they have this small little piece, so you have to be so careful with these photopolymer stamps, because once they stick on something, it's like you can't find it or you lose it. And it just comes up in the weirdest of places. So I am going to use the, for the inner piece, I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight, which is the darker yellow, to do the inner pieces. Now for this stamp set, if you have this stamp set, they have these 2 pieces right here too as well for the inner pieces, and that's for the smaller flowers that you could do them together like that. And this one here is for the larger flower. So let's just go ahead and put that little inner piece there. And then I'm just going to pick this up here. And I'm going to see if I could do those there together. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put our card together. So now on the sample card, I use white base cardstock for the base. So, but with this one, I am going to come in, I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen. So to match up on the ink with the leaves, I'm going to use this green. So let's go ahead and put our card together. Alright, so our emboss layer with our sentiment on there. We're going to come in with our multi-purpose liquid glue. We're going to go ahead and add some to the back of this. And we're going to place that right here on top of this orange just to build give that some height. We'll bring in one of our leaves. And before that completely dries, we're just going to tuck it right behind there. Then what we're going to do is bring in the half of lemon. What do you think? This look more like an orange or a lemon? Let me know in the comments down below. So I'm just going to add this right here. So we're going to bring in our other leaves. And then we're just going to tuck that right in here. Then our flowers is up next. So what I'm going to do is pop those flowers up on some dimensionals. Alright, so I have some mini dimensionals. We're just going to go ahead and put the little ones on. Add some mini dimensionals to that. On the bigger one, we'll use the larger dimensional. And then we will just see where we want to place those. We'll put the little one right underneath here. And then the big one lapping over the little one. About here, so we'll bring that other smaller one there. And then add it here just by that leaf. And what we're going to do is add a little bow. I got some twine right there. I already have my bow tied. I am going to get a glue dot. We'll get our glue dot, add it to our twine. Let's just cut the tail of the other side. And then take this off right there, and then we'll just add it right underneath this little flower. Next, what we're going to do is get our back layer. And so this is the 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and add some glue to the back of this. Then we're going to adhere it to the layer. Alright, so next what I'm going to do is get some dimensionals just to pop this up. I'm going to add some dimensionals back here. And these are some pretty high dimension. I can't remember where I got these from, but I want to say it's a Dollar Tree a long time ago. And I like the height of it and the coverage, the length of these. Okay. So now we'll just peel the back off of these. Okay, then we're going to bring in our cardstock. And this is measuring 11 by 4 1/4 and it's scored down 5 1/2. Okay, so this is 11 inches scored down at 5 1/2 and then is by 4 1/4. And then what we're going to do, so this is nice because the leaves kind of matches, the leaves match the cardstock. When you're doing your leaves, don't come too close over to the edge like how I did. So with the sample, I cut these a little smaller than this one. I just wanted less of the green to be showing, but I think I like this size a little better than this one. What you guys think? So, and then you could save these and you could dress the inside of your card with this if you would like. Also, I had some little gems. I'm just going to add one to the inside of my citrus. And let me go ahead and show you guys. Let me see if this would move. If I could get this, yeah, to just come down there a little bit so it won't be to the edge. There we go. Thankfully, it wasn't stuck down because then that's going to bend. People they make grapefruit with these. I made this one right here. This is more orange, right? These are more orange. This is more of a citrus, a lemon look. But look at this one with the orange right here. I did some little speckles on that. I got a little carried away with that. Have a zesty birthday. And then I saw on Pinterest someone used coconuts with it. She's called Swimming with Stamps. So I tried to case her card and do the coconuts. So it's a variety of things that you could do with this bundle. So if you guys like what you saw here today, please consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload my latest videos. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Claudette, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.